Since creating this YouTube channel, I've wanted to talk about my favorite superhero of all time, Batman, the Dark Knight of Gotham. He is the best superhero sincerely due to the fact that he has no superpowers. Question was, however, how do I talk about him in a way that is distinct from every other YouTuber that is into fitness, motivation, philosophy, psychology, self-improvement, comics, video games, and movies? So, well, after replaying Arkham Knight and watching Mask of the Phantasm, as all real fans do, I came upon not just Epiphany, but the Epiphany. We are our own Dark Knights. And as I've said before in my other videos, the stories we experience shapes our identity. As an Indiana Jones fan, I am more adventurous and curious about the world. As a Batman fan, I am motivated to push myself to be that of a perfect man, not out of the sake of vanity, but rather out of a purpose to help others and make this world a safer place. And out of that identity came the realization that the entire mythos of Batman is a metaphor for our own lives. Here's what I mean. But before we get into this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. This channel is dedicated to making men's lives better through my own personal experiences and the nerdy stuff like this I like as well. Whatever you believe, the story remains the same. Bruce Wayne is the son of two billionaire parents. He was born into wealth and luxury in a city that was constantly infested with crime and corruption. On one fateful night, he was walking with his parents into Crime Alley, where they were ambushed by a man with a gun. He was allowed to live, but the unrelenting trauma of his parents' murder would continue to haunt him. In many stories, it picks up about 15 to 20 years later, and the next thing we usually see him is either in the last step of his multi-year training or coming back to Gotham. However, in the series Gotham, it details a lot of what Bruce had to deal with in the wake of his parents' death. He was scared, but also angry about how he should have been able to protect his parents. It was around this time that he wanted to turn his weaknesses, like fear and inaction, into his strengths. After spending some time growing up, there's a period where he leaves to go around the world, finding people that will train him. In this part, I find most interesting and wish that there were more stories dedicated to that, because this disappearance is his first start into his transformation into something better. When he has gathered all of his skills, he returns to Gotham. He has not yet reached the point of full self-actualization, but he is very close. After a few more months of trying to understand what he means to do, he dons the symbol of the thing that frightens him and uses it not just to fight crime, but to strike fear upon those who prey upon the fearful. We have all gone through some tragedy in life, and if you haven't, you will. It may not be as terrible as losing your parents at a young age in front of you, but it can be as simple as your significant other ending your relationship or getting fired from your job. The innate chaotic nature of life means that at some point you are going to have a bad day. In the wake of that day, though, you are presented with a fork in the road of your life. You can either go down the path of self-destruction, or you can push yourself to become a better version of yourself and ensure that you have learned from this pain. If you are like Bruce Wayne, part of the reconstruction process is the disappearance of yourself. Yes, while I told you in my Republic Commando video that it is not good to accomplish your goals and success alone, I am a proponent of distancing yourself from the regular pleasures and commodities of life in order to focus on your own value. This means shying away from going to the bar with your friends and instead go to the gym, or hopping off those video games to write your book. This doesn't mean you are cutting off from your team, as even Bruce Wayne returned to Alfred. But it means you are cutting off from those low ROI activities to focus on developing yourself into something greater for the betterment of society. It is interesting to note that, on a whole, Detective Comics uses fake cities, and Marvel uses real ones to set their heroes in. I remember from a clip of Stan Lee that he used real places to make his heroes more realistic and personable to the reader. While I can agree that New York City is a better setting than Metropolis or Star City, no setting is as unique and as recognizable as Gotham City. Many fans and analysts of the Batman mythos will tell you the cliche that Gotham is its own character, and it's a damn good cliche. Although each interpretation of the city Batman is sworn to defend changes depending on the tone of the story, it portrays a common element that is superficially elegant but has a seedy underbelly that is chaotic, cruel, and harsh. And although Bruce Wayne has resources and skills that are literally universally renowned, he continues to stay as the protector of one city that many would rather allow to collapse. While I wouldn't recommend taking on the responsibility of protecting your city from criminals, except if you want to be a cop, then props to you. Rather, Gotham is your life and your community. Think about it. Bruce Wayne is ignorant to the pressures and pains of Gotham City until he experiences a traumatic event that reshaped his perception of the city. Bruce Wayne's drive to protect Gotham is a reflection of not only his love for his people within the city, but also that fact that his bloodline, the Waynes, created the city. As a child, unless a traumatic event in life proves otherwise, you are immune to the stresses and problems in life. It is until you witness the realities of life that you begin to truly see how chaotic it can be. Gotham not only represents our own personal life, but also the community you create. This can include one's family, friends, neighbors, important customers, or other vital relationships. Like the Waynes created Gotham, you create your own community. And as a masculine man, there should be a strong desire to protect those who are close to you. This is because you care about their well-being and want to ensure that they are safe from harm. In this sense, Gotham can be seen as a symbol of the people that you want to protect and look out for. Just like in the Batman stories, the city of Gotham is often portrayed as a dangerous and chaotic place where the innocent are threatened by various criminal elements. Similarly, in our own lives, we may face challenges and obstacles that threaten our well-being and the well-being of those around us. And as a masculine man, it is natural for you to want to step up and take action to protect those who are important to you. And, like Batman, we too face villains. It is no secret that Batman has the best villains. No other hero's villains are as recognizable as Bane, Poison Ivy, Penguin, Two-Face, and the Joker. Yes, there are plenty more iconic bad guys and girls that Batman has put into a coma more than once, but for the purpose of this video, I will comment on these few and how we must face these villains in real life. Bane is a man who has spent his life born in a jail cell. This rough life eventually fueled his anger, and thus he committed to growing stronger and unleashing his power on the world that had forsaken him. With the help of a synthetic drug named Venom, he is able to become incredibly strong at the push of a button. Along with his superior intellect, he is able to challenge Bruce to a point that nearly killed the Bat. In the Nightfall series, Bane's strategy was to throw every villain he could to physically and psychologically burn out Bruce Wayne. Once the weary Batman was able to face Bane head-on, he was beaten and had his back broken, which became Bane's signature move against Batman in other iterations. If you are someone trying to succeed in life, there is bound to be someone who wants the same thing that you do. While you should strive to gain allies and make a team, some people will decide to be your competition, and some of those competitors may choose to be more ruthless than you. Like Bane's Venom, some competitors may actually decide to cheat you. Some may decide to wear you down. Some may even get you to your breaking point. When you are in that situation, it can seem like all is hopeless. But you are in a battle of wills against your opponent, and, like Batman, you have to dig deeper than the others in order to win. But if you do get your back broken, be courageous enough to rely on others to get you back on your feet. Even in the end of Night's End, Bruce has to enlist the help of the Bat family to take care of the mess that was made. Poison Ivy, aka Dr. Pamela Isley, is a plant-human hybrid. Her origin story changes throughout her interpretations, but her common attribute is that she uses the powers of the green to commit acts of eco-terrorism. Also, in most versions, she uses her powers of seduction to lure men into either mind control or death. While many of the femme fatales in the Batman mythos utilize their looks to get what they want, No one exploits men's lust quite like poison ivy. Lust is a strong desire or craving for something, often sexual in nature. When it comes to men and lust, it can refer to an intense and often uncontrollable desire for pleasure or gratification sexually. While it's not necessarily bad for men to experience lust, it can become problematic when it is the driving force behind their behavior and relationship decisions. When lust is prioritized over love, respect, and commitment, it can lead to shallow and superficial connections with others. Lust can also lead to the objectification of others, where people are viewed solely as objects of sexual desire, rather than complex individuals deserving of respect and consideration. This can lead to lack of empathy and concern for others, as well as a disregard for others' feelings and boundaries. In extreme cases, unchecked lust can lead to harmful behaviors such as sexual harassment, assault, or infidelity, which can have damaging consequences for both you and the people around you. Like Batman, it is important for men, and everyone, to recognize their control for lustful impulses. Using meditation and mindfulness and exercises like NoFap can increase your ability to not give in to your lustful desires and keep a strong mind in the midst of it. Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, has a common thread of origin stories dedicated to him becoming rich and successful by being greedy and unjust in his actions. By utilizing a criminal enterprise, the Penguin is able to take over much of Gotham by creating an empire for himself. In some stories, his wealth compares to that of Bruce Wayne. Yet the Wayne family became successful by giving their resources and value to Gotham, while the Penguin got rich by taking value and exploiting the people of Gotham. On your path to your goals, there are going to be many chances for you to cheat your way to the top. You might be tempted to take performance-enhancing drugs before a special operations selection, or you may want to scam your customers into giving you money to grow your own wealth. This may be tempting in the short term, but will have great ramifications for you in the future. As someone like Bruce Wayne, you have to increase your value and accomplish your goals by doing the right thing again and again until your goals have been accomplished. Harvey Dent, also known as Two-Face, was the renowned Gotham District Attorney that, at the happenstance of fate, got the entire half of his face, and in some versions body, burned off. The trauma of the incident caused him to split his personality and leave himself to the chance of life, which is symbolized in the coin that he carries. When faced with tragedy, we often want to give in to nihilism or the philosophy that nothing matters and everything is left to chance. This philosophy has been popularized by modern culture in shows like Rick and Morty and movies like Fight Club. This philosophy is dangerous because a lack of caring naturally leads to a lack of ambition and empathy, and if you let the two faces in your life win over you, you lose sight of who you are and who you want to be, and then will end up blaming your failures on the esoteric concept of fate, rather than understanding the difference between what you can control and what you can't. Yes, life will give you uncontrollable tragedies, but you are in control of the reaction you provide. You can either let the tragedy envelop your identity, or you can fight against the chaos and rise above. And you will have to fight the chaos. He's gone by many different names, but his moniker is the same: Joker. He is undoubtedly the most infamous villain that Batman has ever faced, and for good reason. His lack of self-control, his war against order, his familiar laugh and evil smile all represent a complete embodiment of chaos and mayhem in Gotham. He is the complete antithesis of Batman, which is why he is so compelling as a nemesis against him. We face the Joker in our own lives as well. He is the invisible force of chaos and tragedy in our own lives that constantly push against our values. In our Gotham, we all face challenges, setbacks, and tragedies that push against our values and test our strength and resilience. These challenges may take the form of illness, loss of a loved one, financial struggles, relationship problems, or any number of other difficult situations. These challenges can make it feel like an invisible force, disrupting our lives and threatening to undermine everything that we believe in. In the face of such challenges, it can be tempting to give in to despair and hopelessness, to feel like the Joker is winning and there's no way to fight back against the chaos. But just like Batman, we have the ability to resist and overcome the forces that seek to destroy us. By staying true to our values, seeking help when we need it, and taking action to address the challenges we face, we can overcome even the most difficult of circumstances. In this way, we all have our own personal Joker to contend with in our lives. But by recognizing the power of our own values and resilience, we can ultimately triumph over the chaos and tragedy that threatens to consume us. So as we recognize the villains in our own lives, threatening our metaphorical Gotham, we constantly want to find ways to kill them from our lives. We are looking to completely remove lust, greed, hatred, and chaos in our lives, and we feel guilty when we lose to them. But Bruce Wayne's one rule is a metaphor for how we deal with the villains in our lives. Batman does not kill. And you can't kill the villains in your own life. You can only defeat them. They will come back again and again for the rest of your life. And this is the beautiful struggle of life itself. Like Bruce Wayne's reasoning, in order to kill your villains, you have to lose yourself as a human being. Thus, it is unnatural to get rid of external forces like chaos in life. But it is your moral duty to fight it every day. The villains in your life are going to fight you. You can continue to fight back by improving yourself, making progress towards your dreams, and helping others around you. And like Bruce's Bat family, the people you help and build up will eventually be there to help you carry this burden. So when you go down, your friends and loved ones will be there to help build you up. This is the burden you must take if you are a man who devotes himself to improving his life so that he may protect his community. It's going to be hard. It's going to take everything for you to be something better. But this is the mission you gladly take. Because you are the hero your community both needs and deserves. You are a dark knight.